There we go. Perfect. All right. So April 14th is the one in Pittsburgh. It's Super Weekend, so you might have it on the 13th, 14th, maybe even the 12th. Go ahead and FAQ it, look it up, guys. See where one's at locally to you. Those events you do not want to miss. The Ultimate Portion Fix Challenge Packs are currently $20 off. You get $10 off just the kit for the remainder of this month. That's important to know, especially when you're talking to people that, you know, they're really curious about the price, and you tell them and you let them know, hey, you're even saving an extra $20 off. Summit, a few announcements about Summit that's important right now. If you hit Success Club 10 this month and next month, you guys will actually earn a ticket to their tailgate party. Those of you that have never been to Summit, guys, these extra parties that you have the ability to earn, they're super exciting and fun to go to. And just knowing now that you have the ability to earn extra stuff while you're there, these extra parties that Beachbody spoils you with, guys, you got to put in the work now to make that happen so that you can make Summit that much more fun for yourself. If you get to Diamond, they also have a Diamond Leader Party. If you guys want to look that up, though, for yourselves, it is FAQ 3442 for the tailgate party for anybody that hits Success Club this month and next. And for the Diamond Leaders, guys, get your butt to Diamonds. You guys still have the ability to make that party. FAQ 1593. Those of you that might be brand new on the call, since we just introduced a few new people, know that Summit really is the red carpet event for us Beachbody coaches. Rachel Hollis is going to be there. She's going to be one of our guest speakers. And you really hear a lot of great trainings. You get to hang out with other fellow coaches, and it's really just this big, amazing community. And you really can't even put the event into words. It's something that you really just need to experience for yourself. So there's that. Also, if you have coaches on the fence about going, know that the 7th is the deadline to get your tickets for $175. Those new coaches, you still have the ability to earn your ticket for free. So there's that. All right, now the fun stuff, guys. Let me fix my camera. All right, so raise your hand if you guys were creeping on a lot of coaches' stories that went to the Bahamas. Yeah, I was guilty whenever I was wondering on how in the world do they even earn these cruises? Are they fake? Are these people even real? I remember doing that. Raise your hand if you wanted to be there too. Yeah? Let me go ahead and put it on. All right, now raise your hand if you started to think to yourself, I want to be there too. And then you slowly started to get in your mind and you were like, but I won't be able to make it happen. And you started to get in your own mind before you got really excited, and then you immediately took yourself down off the platform being like, I can't even earn that trip. So raise your hand if that was you. Yeah, I was that girl too. Raise your hand if you can't even get your family members on board. I want to see that one. I asked you guys to raise your hands because I want to know where to really take this call. Yeah? Okay. So a lot of you guys are even having family members having a hard time getting them on board. All right. Well, I'm about to cover all of that. So this was actually my 3rd Success Club trip that I had the ability to earn, meaning that I earned enough trip dollars through Beachbody that they paid for me and a guest, so me and my husband, to go. My very first trip, my 3rd son, wasn't even a year old yet. So there was no way that I was going to be bringing my 3 kids, but it was amazing that I actually had the opportunity to bring my husband on a trip, because guys, before that, like, I'm a mom times 3, so getting out is non-existent. So the fact that I was able to reward my husband with this trip, knowing that we're knee deep every single day into work, taking care of our home, and you know, just baby world, it was just so nice that I was able to earn that trip for him. And the second trip we went again without kids, and it was more of just like a honeymoon for the both of us. But this trip, it was extra special, and I'm going to try not to get emotional, because we actually got to bring our babies. So it was something that I teetered with. I wasn't sure if it was something that I really wanted to do because, one, there's a lot of partying that goes on these trips, and you're celebrating and you're having so much fun. But the more and more that I looked into it, there was a lot of things for children to do. So I brought it to my husband. It was extra for us to bring our children, but it was something that I was actually able to pay for with my Beachbody earnings, meaning that we didn't have to take anything out of Toby's paycheck. It was something that I earned. So I brought it to Toby, and I was like, hey, I really think that I want to bring the kids this year. What are your thoughts? He thought about it for a second, and at first we were like, man, we're giving up our adult time, because that's something that we truly don't get. But then we were like, you know what? I would really love to give our children this type of experience. Not only that, guys, take the money away and take even paying for this trip. I don't know about you guys, but especially in our everyday lives, I wouldn't think to book a trip in the middle of, what was last month? I can't even remember. In the middle of school season and take my kids through the Bahamas. We literally all packed up in our minivan. We drove, we played games. My children watched a buttload of movies, and and it was just an experience that I know that my children will be like, Mommy earned that trip for us. And it was so cute watching them be like, Mom, there's Beachbody stuff everywhere. This is like your Beachbody thing, huh? So it was just so cute to really see them recognize that their mom was able to earn this trip, and they were there because of their mom. So, so that was kind of my experience with it. Babe, where are you at? But I think it's funny because you go into these trips and you're kind of blind. I didn't know what to expect on my first one, and we had a blast. And I remember the first trip that we went on, Toby actually did a call for us the very first time. And I remember him saying, it's crazy because it's like you go into this and you really think that you need to have a beach body to be a part of Beachbody. I don't know about you guys, but even going on these trips and not having the perfect physique was kind of intimidating for me. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not at my peak shape. But whenever you go in there and you just see that it's all walks of life and everybody's welcome, and how Beachbody is really, we're an open arms and an open heart community to where anybody and everybody that's willing to work can also earn this trip. And we're really just people that have the hearts that want to help other people. But before Toby comes in and he starts answering some other questions, babe, you can sit right here if you want. I wanted to go ahead and share how we actually earn the trip. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. Let me take this down. Sorry, my mouse just died. There we go. Of course, it's going to be slow. I'm just going to bring up real quick how we earn our trip dollars. Oh, crap. Well, if this is going to install, I might not. Well, I just hit Firefox, and now it's saying that. Okay, wait, bear with me. There we go. All right. Not now. What is this? Can I just type in Google? Okay. So those of you that want to really learn how to earn this trip, it is actually FAQ 8007. So I'm literally going to type FAQ 8007 Beachbody. Guys, look what pops up. The information is always right at your fingertips if you just learn to be resourceful. All right, so this is how you earn it. You earn this trip, our Success Club trip, by hitting Success Club, right? You hit Success Club by signing someone up with a challenge pack or a Shakeology home direct order. Each time that you hit Success Club or you sign someone up that you earn Success Club points, Beachbody rewards you with something called trip dollars. If you don't hit Success Club, you get $5 per point. So let's say that you just signed someone up with the Ultimate Portion Fix Challenge Pack. Beachbody is going to reward you $10 because each challenge pack is worth 2 points. But if you hit Success Club 6, or I don't know why they say 5 anymore. If you hit Success Club 6 or 10, you get $10 per point. So let's say that last month you hit Success Club 10. You earned $100 towards your Success Club trip. Okay, does that all make sense? So the ultimate goal, really, guys, you want to always double your bucks. You double your bucks by hitting Success Club, helping 3 to 5 people a month. Beachbody even offers double trip dollar months. Be on the lookout for those. I know they do it at the beginning of the year, but every once in a while I feel like they sneak stuff in on us where that would even be doubled. So instead of earning $10, they would reward you 20. So if you're someone here that's sitting and you're like, well, shoot, I haven't hit Success Club yet this month, I'm screwed, I can't earn it. No, that's not true. Let's say that even next month you hit Success Club 15. That's $150 that you would earn that would go towards your trip. So you have the ability to still earn this trip. If you guys want to go ahead and even look at this FAQ later, I'm not going to read everything to you, but it even has frequently asked questions that you can go ahead and scroll over, and it gives you basically the rundown on everything that you would want to know about the trip. And yes, you also earn this trip for a guest. And they also give you cool things like resort credit. So the next trip you can actually get $750 in resort credit, which is cool because you can use it for excursions. Our first trip, we used it for the spa. This trip, we used it, I don't even know what we used our trip dollars, our extra money for.
Anything and everything, any drinks.
Yeah.
We use it for drinks. And
yeah, just anything random.
Starbucks or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so let me go ahead and get out of my screen share. So did that all make sense to you guys? Okay, because more than anything, I want you guys to understand how you truly earn it. Because I'm just going to put it out there. There are coaches that can go ahead and get invited to this Success Club trip that personally don't like earn it. And whenever I say that, meaning they don't hit Success Club every single month. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that. But what I'm saying is if you're someone that you don't want to put out the extra money and you want to tell your significant other, listen, I'm going to earn this trip for us, and this is how I'm going to do it every single month. And they're curious why your head is always in the phone. Tell them your goals. Let them know why you're working so hard and be like, hey, and guess what? Next year, I'm going to earn this trip for us. So, all right, let me see what else we got. Running over a minute. All right, so if you guys have any questions for Toby, feel free to go ahead and put them in the chat. But I went ahead and I listed basically the 4 main questions that I always get from my coaches. So he's going to go over some of those, and I'm going to go ahead and ask him, and we're going to do a little Q&A. You want to scoot over a little bit more and act like you like me? He doesn't always like me, guys. I got an arm. All right, so Toby, how do you feel about the Success Club trips with this being our 3rd? This is always fun to hear him.
I think.
You want me to repeat the question?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I think the Success Club trips have been a blessing because we wouldn't have been able to go on trips like these every year, let alone maybe ever, because you're staying at places like 5-star resorts for all-inclusive. You get all your food, all your drinks when you go to the resorts at places like the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. So they have spas in them. They have casinos in them. They have Japanese steakhouses, regular steakhouses, Mexican restaurants, all kind of different things in them. They're not, it's not some skimpy little thing. You know, you're not getting bargain bin vacations when you go on these. So we might be able to go on one maybe every 5 to 10 years, but we wouldn't be able to do it every year like this. So it's definitely been a blessing in disguise. And I've met some people on these Success Club trips that are some of the best people I've ever met in my life. And I can't wait to go the next year because these are people human beings that I actually like, and I don't get along with a lot of people. So it's been interesting.
I love it. I love it.
Something, I don't know.
Oh, this call's giving me all the feels. It's just people chatting. All right. So what made you a believer in this business and what got you on board? Guys, and I have to go ahead and state this. Like, Toby's not the type of husband that was like, I'm not supportive of you in your business. Toby would never tell me no to something that I thoroughly enjoyed. But he was someone that he did get very aggravated with me. And we did have a lot of fights because I was like this. And I was like this a lot. And it's almost like I couldn't pry myself away from the phone because I was so obsessed with what I was doing, the impact that I was making. But I don't know about you, but I feel like I had a very hard time conveying what this business meant for our family at the very beginning. Well, he just knew I was selling challenge packs.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was about. When she first said she was going to be a Beachbody coach, I was skeptical, would be a polite way of saying it. I would guess. I didn't know if it was a legitimate business. I mean, social media had just started. There was all kind of scams and stuff going on. You don't know what's real, what's not. But in the beginning, I didn't know what it was. And once we started seeing results, once we saw the results of the Beachbody products, I guess the results of the products, what Beachbody had to offer, along with the community of people, positive, like-minded people that support you all the time, it became evident pretty quickly that this was the place that she belonged and where our family belonged, because it was making a direct impact on the quality of life that everybody had.
Direct impact of the quality of life. Well put. I'm
nervous.
My heart still pumps too at these calls. All right. So how did you turn into my biggest fan, and what can other women do to get their husbands or family members on board? Because I feel like I said at the very beginning of this business, like we had a lot of fights. We had a crap ton of fights, but that's where I'm very stubborn. And this business was something that I knew that my heart was invested into. And I just felt like I don't know, what did I do that made you become my biggest fan, that made you want to jump into these videos, that made you want to also, be a part of it?
I think when I realized that it's not all bullshit, when you go on these trips and you meet the people who are actually making the business work for themselves, and you realize they're not just some Yahoo on social media that doesn't really exist, and you get to put a name and an actual person to a profile that you see that you're not sure about, and you meet these people and you see that they're making it work for them. That's what sold me. After the first trip, it was like, yeah, this is for real. It was definitely for real.
So what he's saying is earn the trips and bring your people with you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. After you go on a trip, or after you go on a summit, or even the Super Saturdays, and you get to meet the people that are making the business work, you see that it's possible, and you just have to put the time in.
Yeah.
It's all about putting the time in. And it's hard at first. It's not easy, but it's a sacrifice if you want to make it work.
Amen. Just like any job, like you got to put in the work in order to make it happen. All right.
Say something about advice.
Yeah. Now what piece of advice can you offer other husbands or family members that are maybe not on board? So if there's like a husband even watching this right now that just like, dude, it's not worth my wife's time. She's always in her phone. I just can't seem to get her away from it. What would you tell that husband that was once you, that was very skeptical before you went on these trips? But first, before he answers that, guys, This is a sign, even with, Super Saturday coming up, that's right around the corner next weekend, with Coach Summit coming up right around the corner. Make it to these events. This is why they're so important. This is where it really becomes real and we get out of the box, right? We see each other in this box, and yeah, it's real for us, but it becomes even more real whenever you experience it and have other bodies like around you that you can hug and squeeze on people. So yeah, what would be your biggest piece of advice for people that are not on board?
When she said it used to be me, I mean, being realistic, it's still sometimes me. When she's on her phone, I'm still like, I have to remind myself, hey, remember, this is a business. This is her work. But so like for husbands, if there was any husbands watching this, I don't know if there is, but
there will be.
So if you just have to remember that she's not ignoring you because she loves her phone more than she loves you, or she loves her computer more than she loves you. She's ignoring you because she's at work. Okay. The same way that maybe I don't answer my phone every time she calls me when I'm at work. I'm not saying that I do that. But, when you're at work, sometimes you have to focus. You have things that are going on, and you have to get something done right away before you lose your train of thought. So you have to, that's one thing that I would say to remember to discuss with your husband. You are at work. This is a time. You have to have a certain amount of time. Or you lose focus when you're at work, you're going to completely forget. I know I'm a supervisor for electrical department, and if I get a call at a certain time, that completely changes my whole day. So sometimes you have to ignore people a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying completely ignore your husband. There has to be some, boundaries and personal time.
Yeah. And that's something too, that the more that I became in this business, the more that I became aware of my time and boundaries. I used to be that coach that had to run to my phone every single time it dinged. Now I put my phone on silent. I turn on, no notifications, so that whenever I am present with my family, I am present with my family. Because I feel like sometimes in this business, we forget that it's on our time.
And I would suggest turning off your notifications after a certain time of night, because people need to sleep sometimes.
Yeah, that was one of our big things. In the middle of the night, I think it was 1 o'clock in the morning. It was like ding, ding, ding. And he was like, I'm going to the other bedroom. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought I put it on silent. So, and it's also too, guys, it's respecting your own boundaries and really letting people know that, hey, this is my family time. And I do, like, from 5 to 8 o'clock, I even let my coaches know, like, listen, I'm not going to be getting back to you around that time. Because that's when I really devote it to my family. But during the morning and the very next morning, you best believe I'm going to send you a message right back. And it's okay if you don't send a message back right away. So I really feel like that was me in the beginning, just being a new coach, thinking that I had to answer everybody right at the second that it came in, instead of also really respecting our time too as a family. But I have to go ahead and add this too. I feel like things changed whenever I shared more with him and I communicated more with him. So it went from, oh my goodness, babe, this woman just lost 50 pounds and I'm so excited for her. And he's just like, yay. Like, he got excited too, but like, he saw that my heart was in it. He saw that I was invested. But the more and more that, I mean, Toby's a number guy. Like, I think the more and more that I started sharing my numbers with him and started sharing more of the business aspect and my time, he saw that it was being matched now with the dollar amount that I was being paid.
Yeah. And that's another thing I kind of left out when she asked about getting people on board. What a big thing that got me on board was like she's saying, I'm a numbers guy. If you could make sure there's always a plus sign at the end of your profit margin, then it's a lot easier to get people on board. I mean, it's especially a numbers guy. If you can make sure that there's always a plus sign, then you're kind of conveying that this isn't a hobby. This is a career for me.
And at the beginning, it will start a little bit slower, but I really think that, your significant other or, whoever, even if they see your Shakeology getting paid for it first, guys, that is now, even though it's Toby's breakfast every single morning, and I think it's my lunch. Yeah, for about 3 years. He realizes now that that saves him money, but at first it was like, okay, we don't got to pay for this. And, you know, those are little wins that you can start to have under your belt until you start to build up a momentum in your business to where you do start bringing in more of a lucrative income.
And then she shared a lot of the information of what was going on with people's health journeys, and people were getting a lot more healthy and losing weight and hitting goals that they wanted to hit. And I was like you said, yay. But, you know, about 2 years ago, I got pneumonia and I had to have shoulder surgery. And then I started thinking like, okay, I'm not an invincible Viking that I thought I was. You know, I need to make sure that I live as long as I can so that my kids have a father until they can support themselves and live on their own. And this seems to be the way to do that. I mean, I've started eating right and exercising all the time, Shakeology, and I feel better, more energy. So everything seems to be working out the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, I'm on board.
Okay, don't make me cry. See, guys, it's just not even the financial aspect. I don't feel like there's another company like ours. I don't feel like there's another company that makes you get healthy, that makes you pour into your cup, that then pours into your family members around you that also make them want to work on themselves. I'm not saying that it's going to happen right away. Guys, I've been doing Beachbody programs now for over 16 years. Like, I was the one doing Slim and Six. If you don't know Slim and Six, look it up on your bot. I was that girl. Toby wouldn't have did that back in the day. He was like, okay, you over there being all crazy.
I'm not dressing up like Richard Simmons and running around. Yeah.
But the more and more, guys, I mean, even if Transform 20 was the very first workout program that we would have done with the stepper, I don't even think he would have been on board if that was my very first program. But the more and more that he saw that I was like lifting weights and doing lift 4, and we were doing core to fours.
I think P90X was the first one I ever did.
Yeah, but you don't.
Some.
Yeah, some.
Because it was pull-ups and stuff like that.
Yeah, but the more and more that I did it, the more and more that I honestly didn't care if he did them with me, because I knew sooner or later he was going to be getting jealous that, one, I was looking all fine, and he was being like, all right, maybe I need to do something too. So let's see. If you guys have any questions for Toby, why he's on, or even me, feel free to ask, and we're going to scroll through the questions. Just signed up one of my cousins last night. Congrats, Kayla. Preach, babe. Mac's a huge fan. Yes, if you don't have an adult friend, you can bring your child on these trips. That is an option. Yes, Natalie said it. Guys, whenever I am a firm believer, I would much rather do one less post and be in my inbox more. This is a relationship building business, Natalie stated, but ladies, we have to be working, not lost in the scroll. I feel like a lot of times we're like, oh, we're so busy. And then we're like, well, fudge, I just spent over 30 minutes. Not only did I view 50 people's stories, but then I also scrolled Instagram. I scrolled Facebook, and then I went over to Snapchat. And then I checked out some of their stories. Oh, and then I think I might post a little bit. Guys, that's not working. And I hear coaches say all the time, and I'm just going to give it to you hard, that you are so busy. Well, really, are you doing the activities that truly matter? Because there's even times that I asked myself, all right, Jess, you can either take the time today and make a very well meaningful, thought out post, which posting on social media, we all know that is very important. But with 3 kids, sometimes I have to pick and choose. I 100 times over will choose the inbox. I choose connecting with people. I choose communicating with people and seeing where I can help people more, or shouting that person out. I prefer to do that more So yeah, guys, like Natalie said, you've got to be working and not being doing the scroll. And whenever you find yourself even scrolling, guys, it's something that you just start to do out of habit. Just be like, you know what, stop. I'm going to do something that actually means something in my business. Yes, tell your person to work designated hours when you can. Yes, definitely set business hours for yourself. Once again, this is your business. You design the hours when you see fit. Now I became very good at, after I drop my kids off from school, drop them off to school, I come home, I get my son breakfast, we come up to my office, we hang out for about an hour, and then we go and we play for a little bit, and then I go and pick my son up from school, and then I answer some questions, then I get dinner ready for my husband, and then it's family time. So yes, you can set boundaries, and that's your responsibility as a coach and as, being the owner of your own business, being your own CEO. Pockets of time work really well for my family. Yes, I've worked my business in the pockets of my time for the past 4 years. No, thanks. I'm blessed to be here, Nat. Okay, you answered that. All right, so, all right, guys, that's really what we had. So if you guys don't have any questions, feel free to also unmute yourself. But I appreciate you taking the time for this call. We're not always all hunky-dory, trust me. He still gets really mad at me. Like all the time. And guys, there will still be times. I don't want you to get flustered, even if you may communicate your feelings about the business and then your husband's on board, but then yet he still might gripe at you. And there's been plenty of times that I've even said in my business, all right, I'm going to get better on that. And sometimes we do. We need to give them permission and say to them, you know what, if you feel like I'm coming into our family time, just tell me to put my phone down. Because sometimes I feel like we go through life and we do a lot of things mindlessly, and we're not very mindful of what we're doing. So give them permission to just be like, listen, if you feel like it's too much, let me know. And just continue to grow and learn as you're in this business. All right, hashtags for you and your brand. All right, I don't think that's for us. But all right, guys, I hope that this call was super helpful, super beneficial. If you guys have any questions even after the call, feel free to post them in the team page, and maybe I'll even make Toby do a live video in one of the pages to even answer any questions that you might have, because I just feel like every little bit helps. But men behind the lens, that's right. All right, guys, have a great night. Much love. Aww.